my nerdlings, MsUnamusedNerd here. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my nerdy hyperfixations or give some geek culture commentary on topics I would like to discuss. The long-awaited newest episode of Hell of a Boss dropped last week, introducing us to Moxie's father Crimson. We caught a glimpse of Moxie's messed up childhood, and it's another episode of Millie being a badass to save her husband. The whole Millie is only a badass when it comes to Moxie being in danger. Something I noticed a lot of people have been taking issue with as of late. When it comes to the complaints to this episode, it's a lot of people saying they're disappointed that Millie's just the badass that kills people to save her husband, pointing out that just seems to be her only character trait so far, the badass wife of Moxie. Further complaints point out that everyone else in the show got some character growth in some shape or form, while Millie seems to be forgotten in that department. To those complaints, I honestly agree. To some extent. I do agree that Millie has so much potential for a character we have yet to see be in the spotlight. It'd be nice to see focus on Millie without Moxie. What I don't agree with is the notion that Vivziepop doesn't care about Millie, or that Millie needs some type of trauma to develop her character further. Where would that desired trauma even come from? Millie seems to be close to her family, so childhood issues don't seem right. I've seen people saying that Chaz would be Millie's trauma because she hates him so much. Come on, her rage is valid. Chaz is an annoying fuckboy, and learning what that shark-tooth fuckface did to her Moxie made her hatred even stronger. I don't see this walking, worn-out, used condom being able to traumatize someone like Millie. Of course, the fandom's discourse over Millie's lack of character hasn't really gone unnoticed by Vivziepop herself, and Vivz had a lot to say on Twitter, posting a Twitter thread to clear things up that I will read for you right now. You know, I kind of feel like it's time to make an open and honest thread about Millie because I love her and I feel like people don't understand her the way I do. Understandable, so let's go. When I first started Hell of a Boss's first season, I really didn't know what the future was for the show. I had some core episode ideas that existed in the Bible I pitched to Brandon, and they all became episodes. Lululand, Truth Seekers, Harvest Moon. After the pilot, when we really sat down to figure out where things were going to go, it was a very Blitz-focused show, as he is the main character with Moxie offering the most play off him, and Stolas as well because his direction was important to IMP and Blitz's story. In a traditionally small, assembled animated show, I feel like it'd be wise to establish each major character in the first season and episode all their own. But with Helva, I had no idea how far realistically the show would go, so we went a much more Blitz story building approach. My mindset when writing has always been to try to put as much character development into all episodes where certain characters aren't the main focus, but they play a role. So we do a lot of that with the main cast. Now when it comes to Millie, the one take I've seen that is just objectively not true is that we don't think about her and we aren't planning to do any more with her as the biggest sole focus later on. She gets her episode this season, but we are literally on 3. I think my personal issue with how she is characterized is that her only personality is being Moxie's wife, but I do get it. When writing 2 married leads who are a newlywed couple, there is a lot of focus on their dynamic together, and Moxie has more plots outside of that. Millie's are coming out, but I do feel like some ignore the character we are giving her in episodes where she isn't the sole focus. She is resourceful, she has strong family ties and memories, she has a past of violence, she has a sibling rivalry, she's excitable and hyper-focused. Her personality traits are on display, but they tend to be upbeat, which I think some perceive as lack of depth, which to me is really unfair to life. Blitz, Moxie, and Luna come from pain and trauma, but it doesn't take away that Millie doesn't. Millie has some fun things coming out, but I feel that some want or expect is for her to have some tragic, dramatic story like the others, and I just don't think a character needs angst to be compelling. I adore writing drama, it's my forte, and that's why Millie is a challenge. Drama can come in so many forms, and I think what we explore with Millie will count, but personally I feel like some boil her down to broad strokes, or assuming we just don't care to make her more than just Moxie's wife. But I do understand it is a big part of her in the show. Moxie is motivated by his relationship as well, but we found more storylines that influenced Blitz and the overall narrative with him, so he got to develop more first. That's just facts. I do truly want to reach those Millie episodes, and we will. I think though what I do hope is that people can respect that Millie does already have a lot going for her, even with Moxie being a heavy factor. We love her a lot, but I get wanting more. She deserves it. This is more just a come clean point to add, but it's relevant. Hazbin and Helva are 2 sides of the same coin in the Helliverse. They take up similar brain space for me, but I know they should be treated more separate as they are also structured very differently. Hazbin has always had a heavier emphasis on women-led stories, so Helva steered towards male-led stories. Doesn't mean I don't love my ladies in Helva, Helva, but it's a thing too. But even with that said, there's so much more to come if we get to finish the series. I know this got huge, but I just felt like it was good time to finally speak about Millie. She's grown on me so much because I usually don't gravitate towards characters without buckets of angst, but that's what makes her special to me. Excited for you to know more about her. That's all that was said by Pop on the Millie Problem. Helva Boss is a more male-led story, so that explains why Millie didn't have her character expanded sooner, along with everyone else. Another thing to point out, and please keep this in mind, even though Helva Boss premiered 3 years ago, including the pilot, we only have 10 episodes for this show. You can't expect the same pace of writing and character growth for a web cartoon that releases a new episode every few months, like you can for a TV animated show that releases a new episode of a season every week. One is coming out so much quicker with more episodes per season than the other, and it's the official production with the larger team and the larger studio budget. You'll get the plot progression and character growth as time goes on. Just wait for it to happen at the creator's pace and not yours. As Vizzy stated, they didn't know the future of this web cartoon when they first started. All the complaints and accusations of character assassination, too much focus on the Stolet ship, and not caring to develop a character makes no sense considering these people making these complaints don't know what goes on behind the scenes, especially when it comes to having ideas and changing things down during the line of production as time goes on. As someone who writes fan fictions and is in the process of writing my own set of short stories and one day a full-length novel, I can tell you that does happen. It's always people who aren't creatives that have the worst takes when it comes to assuming the creative production of their favorite web cartoon or whatever. In the beginning, Helva Boss was going to be very Blitz focused, and during season 1, there was an obvious shift change to his character, his dynamic with Stolas, and the narrative that a lot of people took issue with and were very vocal about that shift change with the premiere of season 2. People wanting Millie to be another trauma case and having these expectations instead of being trusting the creator of the show and the character that they adore will do right by them. I imagine when we do get our first Millie focused episode, those people aren't going to be happy that their expectations weren't met. At the end of the day, this is Pop's story, this is her show, these are her characters, and please keep in mind we're only 10 episodes in of a hopefully long-running series. I really strongly disagree with the idea that Millie needs to be angst and trauma to explain her non-existent codependency on Moxie. If you've seen Aussies, Moxie and Millie were celebrating their first wedding anniversary. They're a newlywed couple that's very much in the honeymoon phase, and they are passionately in love with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, it's going to get old down the line if this is going to continue, but I'm pretty sure that is going to get downplayed as Millie and Moxie both grow as the show goes on. Millie is very much the mom of the group, and I would like to see her interact more with other characters besides Moxie. Having Millie team up with Luna again like she did in the Truth Seeker episodes would be awesome, or maybe have her do a solo job with Blitz because I just love the bestie vibe that these two have. We are going to see Millie be the center focus this season, and hopefully people will be happy when that episode comes out. That's all I really have to say about this. Thoughts and opinions, leave in the comment section down below. If you like this video, let me know by hitting that like button. If you love it, please subscribe to the channel and turn on to that bell notification so you don't miss out when I upload. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.